Salmonella contamination linked to hundreds of confirmed illnesses just swept through some of America's most trusted grocery chains. The product responsible is one you probably bought last week, cucumbers. But grab the wrong cucumber from the wrong store, and what you're really bringing home is salmonella hiding under food-grade wax coatings, bacterial colonies multiplied by broken cold chains, and pathogen loads no amount of rinsing can remove. If this has been your go-to store for 10, 20, 30 years, everything that slipped through has been on your cutting board that entire time. Today, we're breaking down 11 grocery stores selling cucumbers that failed food safety standards, including 2 that market themselves as premium. Plus, the 3 places where your cucumbers are actually clean. Coming in at number 11, Dollar General and Dollar Tree. Rock bottom prices. Bare bones shelves. Cucumbers for less than $1 in neighborhoods where no other grocery store exists. Dollar General and Dollar Tree have pushed hard into fresh produce, stocking refrigerated sections in thousands of stores across America. But the FDA has inspected those coolers, and what they found should terrify anyone buying vegetables there. Repeated temperature violations. Produce sitting in refrigeration units that aren't cold enough to stop bacteria from multiplying. Limited staff means nobody is checking, nobody is rotating, nobody is pulling product when the cooler drifts above safe thresholds. A cucumber that arrives borderline safe becomes genuinely dangerous after 48 hours in a cooler running 5 degrees too warm. Salmonella doubles its population every 20 minutes at room temperature. Even a few degrees above proper refrigeration gives bacteria a head start that your kitchen sink cannot undo. Pick up one of those dollar cucumbers. Feel the skin. That slight tackiness, that faint film that doesn't feel like vegetable, that's bacterial biofilm forming on produce that's been sitting too long at the wrong temperature. Smell it. If there's even a hint of sourness beneath the green, that cucumber has already started breaking down. For families on fixed incomes relying on these stores because nothing else is nearby, or anyone managing diabetes who depends on fresh vegetables to control blood sugar, that bargain cucumber carries a hidden surcharge. A salmonella infection severe enough to require IV fluids and a hospital stay. In food deserts across America, the cheapest produce is also the most dangerous. $1 for a cucumber, $1,000 for the emergency room visit. That's the real price tag Dollar General doesn't print on the shelf. If the dollar stores can't keep cucumbers safe, surely the budget chains with actual grocery infrastructure do better. Not necessarily. At number 10, Aldi. No frills, no fancy displays, just low prices and high volume. Aldi moves produce fast, and that rapid turnover model is supposed to be a safety advantage. Product comes in, product goes out, nothing sits long enough to go bad. That's the theory. The reality is that Aldi cucumbers have appeared on recall lists tied to contaminated imported shipments, and the speed that's supposed to protect you actually works against you. When a recall notice drops, Aldi's turnover model means contaminated cucumbers have already been sold and eaten before the advisory reaches store level. The warning comes after the danger has already left the building in your shopping bag. Hold an Aldi cucumber up to the light. Conventional, imported, waxed to a shine that makes it look fresher than it is. That wax isn't decoration. It seals in moisture to extend shelf life during long international supply chains. It also seals bacteria underneath a layer your kitchen faucet cannot penetrate. For people taking ACE inhibitors for blood pressure, or anyone recovering from a recent surgery whose immune system is still rebuilding, a severe salmonella episode doesn't just mean stomach cramps, it means dangerous electrolyte crashes. Potassium and sodium levels swinging wildly while your medication tries to regulate the same systems the infection is destroying. Your blood pressure medication fights to keep you stable. The bacteria fights to destabilize everything. Aldi's prices look like a gift. The cucumbers can be a trap. Budget-friendly doesn't mean body-friendly, and a recall that arrives after you've already eaten the evidence is no recall at all. Think regional chains with loyal customers care more about safety? Think again. Number 9. Food Lion. Millions of families across the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic rely on Food Lion for their weekly groceries. Affordable, familiar, the store you drive past every single day on the way home from work. Food Lion was specifically identified as a retailer selling recalled cucumbers contaminated with salmonella during the 2024 multi-state outbreak that sickened over 400 people. 400 confirmed cases. That's not a minor supply chain hiccup. That's a public health failure distributed across store shelves in communities that trusted their neighborhood grocery chain to keep them safe. Walk through the produce section at Food Lion. Those cucumbers look fine. Green, firm, stacked neatly under fluorescent lights. Nothing about their appearance tells you what's living on the surface. Salmonella is invisible. It doesn't change the color. It doesn't soften the skin. It doesn't smell. The cucumber that makes you sick looks identical to the one that doesn't. You cannot tell by looking. You cannot tell by touching. You cannot tell until you're already sick. For people who take proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, medications like omeprazole or lansoprazole, or anyone with a compromised digestive system recovering from recent antibiotics, your stomach acid is deliberately suppressed. That acid is your body's first line of defense against foodborne bacteria. Without it, Salmonella, that a healthy stomach might neutralize, passes straight through to your intestines, where it multiplies unchecked. The infection hits harder. It lasts longer. It can spread into your bloodstream. 400 people got sick. The CDC confirmed the link. Food Lion kept selling cucumbers. The neighborhood store you trusted just served contamination at the deli counter of American grocery shopping. 400 sick. Zero changes visible on the shelf. If a regional chain can't catch contaminated cucumbers, what about the big national distributors with massive logistics networks? Number 8. Albertsons. Dozens of regional banners. Safeway, Vons, Jewel Osco, Shaw's, all operating under the Albertsons umbrella, all promising quality fresh produce in every store from coast to coast. The company was included in major cucumber recall actions. But here's what most shoppers don't know. USDA inspection reports have flagged inconsistent cold chain management at certain distribution centers serving Albertsons-owned stores. Cold chain is everything with cucumbers. From the moment a cucumber is harvested, the temperature must stay within a narrow, safe window every single mile, every single hour, from farm to distribution center to store shelf to your refrigerator. One break in that chain and bacteria wake up. One lapse and the clock starts ticking toward contamination levels your body cannot handle. Pick up a cucumber at Albertsons and press your thumb gently into the skin. If it gives even slightly, if there's any softness near the stem end, that cucumber experienced a temperature excursion somewhere in the supply chain. The firmness is gone because cellular breakdown has already started. Where cells break down, bacteria thrive. For anyone managing diverticulitis or inflammatory bowel conditions, or families with young children who eat raw cucumber slices as everyday snacks, a salmonella-contaminated cucumber doesn't just cause a stomachache. It triggers inflammatory cascades in a gut already prone to painful flare-ups. Your intestinal lining, already compromised, faces a bacterial assault it cannot withstand. The pain compounds. The recovery stretches weeks. Albertsons operates thousands of stores under names you trust locally. The name on the sign changes from state to state. The cold chain problems underneath don't change at all. Number 7. Sam's Club. Bulk buying at warehouse prices. Cucumbers packaged 6, 8, 10 at a time in plastic-wrapped trays, designed to make you stock up and save. Sam's Club is a Walmart subsidiary, and in late 2024, they carried the same recalled sun-fed cucumbers that the CDC linked to hundreds of salmonella illnesses across dozens of states. Same supplier, same contamination, same bacteria, different sign on the building. But bulk packaging introduces a problem unique to warehouse shopping. When one cucumber in a 6-pack is contaminated, the sealed plastic trapping them together creates a humid microenvironment where bacteria transfer from skin to skin. One bad cucumber infects the entire tray. Cross-contamination happens before you even open the package, and those lot numbers printed on the packaging that are supposed to help you trace a recall, they're on the outer wrap that you throw away the moment you get home. You cannot trace what you already discarded. The recall notice arrives, and you have no way to check if your cucumbers are from the affected batch. Feel the moisture inside a Sam's Club cucumber package. That condensation pooling at the bottom of the tray isn't refreshing. It's warm enough to incubate salmonella in transit. For people over 50 who stock up on bulk cucumbers and store them in the fridge for a week or more, or anyone on immunosuppressant medication after a transplant or cancer treatment, each day that cucumber sits in your crisper drawer extends the exposure window. Bacteria don't stop multiplying because your receipt is old. They don't care that the sell-by date hasn't passed. Buy 6. Store them for a week. Eat contamination for 7 straight days without knowing. That's the real cost of warehouse savings. At number 6, Kroger. The largest traditional grocery chain in the entire country. More stores than anyone except Walmart. More produce departments. More distribution centers. More supply chain complexity than any traditional grocer in America. Kroger stocks cucumbers in bulk from multiple large-scale distributors, spanning a network so vast that tracing a single contaminated cucumber back to its source is nearly impossible. Kroger stores were directly named in the 2024 FDA cucumber recall tied to 2 specific Salmonella strains, Salmonella africana and Salmonella bryonderup. These aren't generic food poisoning bugs. These are aggressive strains originating from imported produce with poor traceability that the FDA specifically flagged as high risk. The recall had to come from the FDA because Kroger's own internal systems didn't catch the contamination first. The agency found the problem, not the store. Pick up a Kroger cucumber and look at the sticker. It tells you almost nothing. No farm name, no country of origin on most conventional cucumbers, no harvest date. Just a PLU number that means the same thing whether the cucumber was picked yesterday in Ohio or 3 weeks ago on an industrial farm overseas. That lack of information isn't accidental. It's a feature of a supply chain built for volume and cost, not transparency or safety. Traceability is the one thing that could protect you. Kroger's system doesn't offer it. For anyone with chronic kidney disease managing careful dietary restrictions, or families where multiple generations share meals cooked from the same ingredients every night, a Salmonella Bryonderup infection puts extreme stress on kidneys already operating at reduced capacity. The dehydration alone can push borderline kidney function into dangerous territory requiring emergency intervention. Biggest traditional chain. Biggest traceability gap. Your cucumber's journey is a mystery Kroger doesn't want you to solve. If this information is helping you make safer choices at the grocery store, hit subscribe. It's free, and it means you'll never miss these investigations. The largest chain in America got caught. So surely the stores with fiercely loyal local followings hold themselves to a higher standard. Number 5. H-E-B. In Texas, H-E-B isn't just a grocery store. It's an institution. Texans swear by it, defend it, trust it with a loyalty most national brands can only dream of earning. That loyalty makes what happened next feel like a deeply personal betrayal. H-E-B was among the retailers that sold cucumbers linked to the 2024 Salmonella outbreak, and some affected product remained on shelves even after initial recall notices were posted. The recall went out, the cucumbers stayed. Customers kept buying them, kept slicing them into salads, kept feeding them to their families, days after the danger was officially announced. Walk into an H-E-B produce section. It's beautiful. Misted greens, hand-stacked displays, the kind of presentation that makes you feel like every vegetable was personally selected for quality. That misting system, the fine spray that keeps everything looking dewy and fresh, it also spreads surface bacteria from cucumber to cucumber across the entire display. One contaminated cucumber under the mist contaminates its neighbors. The display that looks like a farmer's garden becomes a distribution network for Salmonella hiding in plain sight. For older Texans managing heart conditions who take blood thinners like warfarin, or anyone recovering from cardiac surgery who depends on stable hydration levels, severe dehydration from a Salmonella infection doesn't just make you miserable, it thickens your blood. Warfarin dosing depends on consistent hydration. Disrupt that balance and you're looking at dangerous clotting events, elevated stroke risk, and cardiac complications triggered by a cucumber. Texas trusts H-E-B. H-E-B left recalled cucumbers on the shelf. Loyalty is not a food safety protocol. That's 6 stores down. 6 stores most Americans shop at every single week, and we haven't even reached the ones that charge premium prices. Number 4, Publix, the Southeast's favorite grocery chain, where shopping is a pleasure, according to every bag, every receipt, every billboard. Publix markets itself as the premium experience with superior produce quality. That superior produce included recalled cucumber products during the 2024 contamination event. But the Publix problem goes deeper than one recall. Consumer complaints have flagged wax coatings on conventional Publix cucumbers that trap surface bacteria beneath a layer shoppers cannot wash off. That shiny, smooth skin you associate with freshness is actually food-grade wax applied during processing. It extends shelf life. It makes the cucumber look appealing under store lighting, and it seals Salmonella against the skin like plastic wrap over a petri dish. Run your finger along a waxed Publix cucumber. That slick, almost artificial smoothness isn't natural cucumber skin. It's a petroleum-derived or shellac-based coating designed to lock in moisture. It also locks in everything else. Your kitchen faucet, your vegetable brush, even a vinegar rinse cannot reliably penetrate a wax barrier to reach bacteria trapped underneath. For adults managing chronic kidney disease who eat cucumbers for their hydrating and potassium benefits, or families who serve cucumber slices as a healthy snack without peeling, you're delivering pathogens directly past every defense your kitchen offers. The wax makes it look clean. The bacteria underneath prove it isn't. Shopping is a pleasure, until the pleasure sends you to urgent care. Premium price, premium display, Same contaminated supply chain hiding behind a coat of wax. Think the organic label saves you? Think again. Number 3. Costco, the warehouse giant beloved for its organic and conventional produce sections. Shoppers assume Costco vets its suppliers more thoroughly than anyone else in the industry. The sheer scale of their purchasing power should mean better quality control, stricter standards, safer food on every shelf. But that assumption is wrong. Costco's English cucumbers have been subject to periodic recalls, and high-volume sourcing from large industrial farms actually increases exposure to both pesticide residue and pathogen contamination, because the supply chain is so massive that a single contaminated batch spreads across hundreds of stores in days before anyone detects the problem. Open a Costco English cucumber package. Those long, shrink-wrapped cucumbers feel premium. The plastic film is tight. The cucumber inside looks pristine and unblemished. But that shrink wrap creates the same sealed environment as Sam's Club bulk packaging. Moisture trapped between plastic and skin, warmth building during transport, and sitting on warehouse pallets. A perfect incubation chamber for any bacteria that hitched a ride from the farm. The plastic that makes it look premium is the plastic that breeds the danger. For anyone managing diabetes who relies on low-glycemic vegetables like cucumbers to help stabilize blood sugar, or people on metformin whose digestive systems are already sensitive to disruption, a serious foodborne illness from a contaminated cucumber can destabilize glucose control for weeks. Your body fights the infection instead of managing your blood sugar. Your medication cannot do its job while your gut is under bacterial siege. Every sick day is a day your diabetes management falls apart. Organic label on the sign. Industrial supply chain behind the curtain. Costco's size is supposed to be its strength. For contamination, that size is the vulnerability. If organic at the warehouse club isn't safe, at least the store that literally built its identity on clean, natural food would protect you, right? Number 2. Whole Foods Market. This is the one that's going to hurt. Whole Foods trades on its organic and natural image more aggressively than any grocery chain in America. Shoppers willingly pay premium prices because they believe their produce is safer, cleaner, more carefully sourced. That belief is the most expensive mistake in this entire list. Despite the branding, Whole Foods cucumbers have been included in recall events, and a 2023 Consumer Reports analysis found that organic labeling does not guarantee lower pathogen risk. Some organic cucumbers tested positive for the same bacterial contamination found on conventional varieties from budget stores. The organic seal doesn't test for Salmonella. It tests for pesticide protocols. Two completely different safety dimensions treated as one by marketing departments that know you won't look deeper. Hold a Whole Foods organic cucumber next to a conventional cucumber from Aldi. They may have traveled similar supply chains, sat in similar warehouses, been handled by similar numbers of workers. The organic one costs 3 times as much. The pathogen risk is statistically the same. For people who switched to Whole Foods specifically to avoid the contamination risks at conventional stores, or anyone with chronic kidney disease who trusts the organic label as permission to skip thorough washing, that false sense of security is the most dangerous ingredient in the entire produce section. You skip the extra rinse because organic feels safe. The bacteria don't care what you paid. Whole Foods charges more. They don't deliver more. They deliver confidence. And confidence doesn't kill Salmonella. The premium label, the premium price, the same contaminated risk hiding behind a story you wanted to believe. Drop a comment if any of these stores is where you buy your cucumbers every week. Let's see how many of us have been trusting the wrong shelves. And now, number 1. The store that moves more cucumbers than almost any retailer in America. The store where millions of families shop every single week without a second thought. Walmart. In late 2024, Walmart was one of the largest retailers caught in the massive sun-fed produce Salmonella recall, affecting whole cucumbers sold across dozens of states. The CDC linked hundreds of confirmed illnesses directly to this contaminated supply. Hundreds of people hospitalized, dehydrated, fighting bacterial infections that lasted weeks, and Walmart, the largest grocery retailer on the planet, was at the center. This wasn't a small batch. This wasn't an isolated supplier. This was a systemic failure distributed through the most powerful retail supply chain in America into kitchens from coast to coast. Walmart's entire produce model is built on volume and price. Cucumbers sourced from the cheapest available suppliers, moved through distribution centers processing millions of units, and stacked on shelves where turnover is the only quality metric that matters. The cucumber you pick up at Walmart has traveled through a chain optimized for speed and cost. Safety is an afterthought that only shows up when the CDC starts counting sick people. Squeeze a Walmart cucumber gently near the blossom end. If it compresses at all, put it back. That softness is the first sign of compromised cellular structure, the earliest physical evidence that the cold chain failed somewhere between the field and your hand. For adults over 50 managing multiple chronic conditions who shop at Walmart because the prices fit a fixed income, or families feeding children on tight budgets who depend on affordable produce, Walmart's cucumber contamination isn't just a food safety story, it's an economic trap. The store that promises to save you money just cost hundreds of families their health. Biggest store, biggest recall, biggest betrayal, every shelf, every state, every family that trusted the low price was worth it. That's 11 stores exposed. 11 places where the cucumbers in your cart could be carrying something the label never warned you about. But there are still places where clean, safe cucumbers exist. Real produce, short supply chains, and standards that actually protect you. Check your refrigerator right now. If those cucumbers came from any of the 11 stores we just covered, throw them out. Your next salad deserves better. First safe pick. Local farmers markets with USDA certified vendors. This is where the supply chain shrinks to almost nothing. Farmers market cucumbers are typically harvested within 24 to 48 hours of sale. That's not a marketing claim. That's the reality of a farmer who picked your cucumber yesterday morning and is handing it to you today. Compare that to the industrial chain where cucumbers travel thousands of miles over days or weeks, passing through distribution centers, sitting in warehouses, absorbing temperature fluctuations that let bacteria multiply at every stop. At a farmer's market, fewer hands touch your food. The farmer who grew it is the person selling it. There's no anonymous distribution center, no cold chain handoff where temperature logs get fudged, no wax coating applied to fake freshness during a long journey. USDA-certified vendors must comply with good agricultural practices audits that verify how the food was grown, handled, and transported. Pick up a farmer's market cucumber. Feel the difference. The skin has texture, tiny bumps, a slight roughness that tells you nothing artificial was applied. No wax barrier trapping bacteria against the surface. A simple vinegar rinse is genuinely effective because there's nothing between your cleaning solution and the skin. Smell it. That bright green, almost grassy scent is what a cucumber is supposed to smell like before industrial processing strips it away. For anyone rebuilding their immune system after illness, or families who want their children eating produce they can actually trace back to a real farm, this is the safest cucumber you can buy. Shorter chain, cleaner product. A farmer who looks you in the eye and tells you exactly how it was grown. Second safe pick. Trader Joe's Persian cucumbers. Trader Joe's doesn't try to be everything to everyone. Their Persian cucumbers come through a tightly controlled smaller supplier network that reduces the mass distribution contamination risk that plagues the large chains we just exposed. These cucumbers are unwaxed. No petroleum coating, no shellac barrier, nothing sealing bacteria against the skin where your faucet can't reach. They're sold in sealed packages that limit cross-contamination during transport and in-store handling. From supplier to shelf, fewer people touch them, fewer surfaces contact them, fewer opportunities for pathogens to hitch a ride. Open a package of Trader Joe's Persian cucumbers. Notice the size, smaller, thinner-skinned, almost delicate compared to the bloated, waxed, conventional cucumbers at the stores we covered. Bite into one. The crunch is sharper. The flavor is cleaner. The seeds are smaller and softer, which matters more than you think. For anyone dealing with digestive sensitivity, bloating, or the GI discomfort that becomes more common after 50, Persian cucumbers are naturally easier on your system. Less seeds, less bulk, less irritation in a gut that doesn't process rough fiber the way it used to. The sealed packaging isn't just convenient, it's a contamination barrier that the open bin displays at Walmart and Kroger cannot provide. Every hand that squeezes a cucumber in an open bin transfers bacteria. Persian cucumbers in a sealed pack skip that entirely. Smaller supplier network, unwaxed skin, sealed packaging. This is what safe produce looks like when a store actually designs its supply chain around quality instead of volume. Third safe pick. Sprouts Farmers Market. Sprouts built their entire model around partnerships with smaller regional farms, and it shows in every cucumber on the shelf. Their incoming produce inspection standards exceed typical grocery industry requirements. This isn't marketing language. Sprouts stores maintain dedicated cold chain protocols with posted temperature logs that customers can actually walk up and verify for themselves. Posted, visible, accountable. Try finding that at Walmart or Kroger. You won't. The chain has avoided major cucumber recall events in recent years, while the 11 stores on our avoid list were scrambling to pull contaminated product from their shelves. That's not luck. That's a supply chain designed with fundamentally different priorities from the ground up. Pick up a Sprouts organic cucumber. Feel the matte finish, no wax sealing bacteria against the skin. See the slight imperfections in the surface. the natural variation that tells you this wasn't machine sorted for cosmetic perfection at the expense of safety. These cucumbers look like food that came from a farm, not a factory processing line. For anyone managing high blood pressure who eats cucumbers for their potassium content and natural hydrating properties, or people actively working to reduce sodium intake without sacrificing flavor in their daily meals, Sprout stocks the kind of clean produce that supports your health goals instead of quietly undermining them with hidden contamination. The cucumbers are high in potassium, low in sodium, and free of the chemical residue that undoes the health benefits you're eating them for in the first place. Smaller farms, stricter inspections, transparent cold chain. When you can verify the temperature logs yourself, that's not a promise. That's proof. What's the worst produce experience you've ever had at a grocery store? Drop it in the comments below. 11 stores exposed. 3 safe alternatives. 1 refrigerator that needs checking tonight. Your next cucumber should nourish you, not send you to the hospital. Subscribe now, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.